In this week's message from the angels, they give us an incredibly deep and insightful understanding of the flash of light that's coming, where it's coming from, specifically from our cosmic origin point, and then includes the explanation of the 3 days of darkness. So, welcome back to my channel, you guys. I am so glad you are here. This is a message you don't want to miss. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I find that by sharing these messages with you, my own understanding of them grows so much. And I really, really appreciate the energy that you're bringing to share with us and to share with me. Thank you. So for those of you who are new, my name is Ann Tucker, and I am a trance channel. I channel from the angelic realm. I do that by raising my awareness up as high as I can go, and then I stretch a little bit higher, and then I bring through energy healing and information from the angels, and I share it here with you guys on YouTube. And this week's message is... it's poetic, it's beautiful. It may take you a couple listens to get all of it because there's so much in it. But that is why I break it down at the end. So my format is I'll give you a quick summary and then I will share the original channeling with you. And there is a break in the channeling because in the middle of my channeling, I was recording, I use Dragon software. I channel and I have it like turning into text on my computer. And the Dragon software started reading back to me what I had channeled, and it completely like pulled me out of trance. So I had to stop and then I had to start again. So you'll see an edit in the middle of the channeling, and that's what it is. I stopped and then I had to go back in and then get the last paragraph. So, but that's why you see a little break in the editing on the channeling. But anyway, so I'll share the live channeling with you, and then afterwards I will come back and I will break it down paragraph by paragraph. And it's really valuable to do that because the angels have a multifaceted perspective. They see all things at once, and so they frequently will speak in words that mean many things at once, and we can get way deeper insights by taking the time to understand those and to really look at it from the way they see it. And to me, it makes me feel a lot closer to them because I feel like I'm more deeply connecting to the message as they intended it. So, okay. So in a nutshell, today's message is about our cosmic point of origin, as they call it. It is and they call it, they said, this is the point that our humanity as a collective consciousness comes from. I used to think of that as like a great big cloud, but no, they're saying it's like a moment of time frozen, even though there's no time over there. It's a moment it's a thought, or whatever, that's been frozen that we are then exploring throughout our existence. And it is the wavelengths that it emits are love and forgiveness. And they talk about how we have been in this process of exploring these themes. And then as we are prepared to evolve, as we come into the place where we are as separated from that original cosmic point, as separated from love and forgiveness as we can get, then we are ready to come back into union and harmony through the wave of forgiveness, through accepting ourselves, accepting what is, accepting one another. And so this wave that's coming is the wave of forgiveness. And it is what we will experience it as is a wave of surrender, of accepting what is, of loving ourselves as we are. And as we do that, we will shift, all of us, all of humanity, our cosmic point of origin shifts to a higher frequency. So, and they describe it, this process, as like an inhale, as it sort of like inhales this whole process of our separation, of moving further and further into separation, has been the exhale. And then now we will inhale, which is, I believe, the 3 days of darkness. So incredible message. I think you guys are going to love it. So before I go into it, I want to let you know that I'm going to be in Phoenix for a unexpected and I'm super excited about one day event. I'll be there. We'll be spending about 3 hours together. I'll be channeling the angels. I'm super excited for this opportunity to meet some of you in person. So if you can join us, I will put the link in the description box and above, and I have the date right here because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But here's the date, and it's on a Wednesday. It's on a midweek, and then link below. So I hope you can join us. All right, enjoy the message.
Beginning in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blessings, we are within. We are speaking to you now about the turmoil of your own understanding. how near and far from where you are, there are disturbances to the cosmic contemplative basis point, to the origin of all understanding. Ripples move of universal love and cosmic forgiveness, and they shift and change with the tides of your own frequency as you are rising into a new expression of who you are. You are the counterpoint of forgiveness. You are that which starts from love and loses itself and must wind its way back again. And in the great depth of your own despair, forgiveness must come to rescue you. It is from without and within, a duality for your own understanding. Forgiveness comes in the light of the forsaken who return to you in the moment of your greatest need. Forgiveness comes in the air of the wings that we beat as we breathe into you hopeful prospect. Forgiveness discovers you when you are laid bare amongst the wreckage of what must be plowed under. The wreckage of perspectives will come and go and suffice as they may for your own greatest recovery will be made through the fruition of that soil which is laid to rest. There shall be disappointments, and furrows shall be opening within the consecrated desires you would rather not upset. But we say that these conjunctions and disunions that you are experiencing within your own lives ripple upward and outward with each explosive renewal. And you are carrying within you the very frequency of what will realign to the cosmic point of consciousness that illuminates us all. You are the wave of light we care to perceive. You are the illuminative force that endows this earth with the gently held spark of the divine. There shall come a time wherein the frequency of peaceful acceptance becomes more vivid, and this then shall penetrate into the depths of the human mind, and it shall be an opening that conveys to you what is your highest potential. You shall not roam far from the vision of yourselves at the beginning, from the start of the cosmic wave of love. You shall not deter your own great lengths of development through any misfortunes or misdeeds. But the rest of the universe feels your comeuppance. They are perceptive to what you emit. The great changelings, the influential starlights that come to themselves and in so doing reverberate a new truth for ourselves and all others to accept. There is a revolution at hand that is coming from within you, a new gestational divergence from what is and has been. And this shall ripple upward and outward onto the cosmic plane of understanding. And the cosmic origin point braces itself for its own disunion, for a separation from what it once was. It was an embodiment of its own, a counterpoint, a reflective surface from which all gathered its dusty legends It was the momentary glimpse of a universe that expanded into the furthermost reaches of what is now. And within it, there are many trajectories not taken, many possibilities not yet explored. It is a wavelength, a frequency which is emitted again and again with each universal breath. It is the stasis, the status of well-being. It is the illuminative force of growth and development. And it shall inhale with your acceptance of your own preview of what is to come as you move into readiness to accept your furthest growth point. And as you do, this elemental force recovers itself, draws back in, and expands into something new. A new reference point, a cosmic flare up that shall envelop the earth and draw to yourselves the greatest light of surrender that can be beheld. And within it, you shall uncover what is within you, and it shall grow and magnify the newest prospects of your own hallelujah. We say that the cosmic origin point of humanity is a mind share of the universal law that belongs to Source above. It is the godlike principle of your becoming, and it radiates a new future even as you are speaking to your own selves, even as you are in reluctance for what might become. There can be no foreshadowing of these events, which are foretold but not fully understood before now. There can be no afterthought that does not contain the mysterious undoing of what has been your own reality. The fullness of the solar array, which will come to meet yourselves in the moment of readiness, shall exemplify the divine light that created us all. It shall be a new beginning, as if the frequency of humanity has altered from within, and the cosmic source of your intelligence moves into alignment with a higher truth, and all who you are shall come to enjoy the fated reunion with your own highest expression. There shall be within this interplay of light and dark a newness that is confounding to you. There shall be a radiance that evolves from within you, and you shall not heed the same priorities which once have spoken your name. The new beginnings come from within you, but are not found in the nature of how you have been. They come from the stasis point of the new beginning. They come from the universal law into which you are growing, the new and measured instrumentation of an expansive universal comprehension of which you are a part. And from within that perspective, your heightened state of consciousness bestows upon you what shall become of interest. You shall be drawn to one another in the context of union, in the context of fruitful research that leads you into loving what is. There shall be surrendered within this experience much of what has been viewed as universal truth. There shall be thoughts about what is and what humanity has done that shall be left behind. There can be no forethought, as we have spoken, about how you will feel, what this will be, for it has not yet occurred in your own minds, in your own hearts. We foresee yourselves taking on the patterning of a new spaciousness that evolves from the universal loving concepts into which you are moving. And this integrates into what is within you. And you yourselves shall define it by the very fact of your creative genius. We wish for you to speak the truth of these meanings, to know them as a part of you, to know them how and when they shall become within you. We wish for you to feel yourselves resolved upon these feelings in acceptance, embracing what is becoming from within you. We wish for you to know your higher truth evolves from one point of consciousness shared by all human beings, and all vibrate from within the same attunement, to know that what rises for you rises for all of humanity, and that you live within the spark of divine love, and these notes are carried into your future. You cannot recombine into the nature of what was and live in the foray of what is beginning. You can only find the truthful path of your expression in the new morning through the accepting of what has now only begun. All right, you guys. So wild, right? I find this to be an absolutely wild message. Like it's beautiful, extremely cosmic, and I feel like to me it shows that they have an enormous amount of respect for us, because I feel like they are not talking down to us. They're not giving us the human based metaphors. They're really saying it like it is and trying to teach us about these extremely deep concepts that are way outside of our human life, and help us to understand really how we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. And so that's, to me, I feel like they think we're ready for it. They think we're ready about to think about these things that are very hard to grasp in some ways. And so to me, to take the time it takes to really understand this, it feels like an honor. It really does. It feels like such an honor to be given messages like this that we are meant to sit with and to understand and try to expand what is possible in our own minds. It's huge. Okay, so yes, so the I think it is like to think about it as this breath. I think it really helps us that there is this universal source point that exhales and inhales, and that we are that, and we are the exhale. And as we move away from the conscious origin point, humanity we experience duality. And if the conscious origin point is love and forgiveness, we become the opposite of that, which is self-hatred and self-blame, right? Which is what we experience in our separation through our lives. And then we have to slowly work our way back to self-love through forgiveness, right? This is what they're telling us, that they say that we move away into duality, and then forgiveness comes and rescues us and brings us back to love, which is incredible. And they're saying that this concept of this, what this point is emanating, forgiveness and love, is a snapshot of universal law. So it's not the only universal laws, but it's the two that our humanity is working with and exploring. This is what we're exploring as a species, is love and forgiveness, which is amazing, right? Amazing to think about. So, yeah. So, and then they say that I think what they're saying here is that this exhale and inhale, as we are ready to surrender, as we get into the space where we're ready to surrender to what is, then this cosmic point will shift into a new sense of itself. And that exhale is the flash of light that envelops us all in this energy of surrender, right? And we will then all move up into this a higher state of consciousness. So yeah, so that's what I'm understanding. So let's break it down paragraph by paragraph, because like I said, this is a deep one. And I love it. I absolutely love the message. The more I read it, the more I'm feeling like I'm wrapping my head around it. But it's not an easy one. It's not one that, like, it is. I think once we look at it, it will be very easy. But to get it all into my head, maybe it's just my head is slow today. My head feels a little dumb today. So it's just doing what I can do with it. Leslie says, woo, very beautiful and flowery, but this one will definitely take more listening, processing, and integrate. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah, cases need to mull this one over. Amazing. Yes. Yeah, and Jeannie says, I feel so much lighter from hearing this. No need to be so hard on ourselves. Very true. Yeah. And Don says, maybe the 3 days of darkness is the pause before the breath. I think that's what it is, Don. I agree. I think that I've heard of the angels talking about also that there's no technology during the 3 days of darkness. So I think it is like there is actual darkness, because I think it might even be a thing where the light diminishes during that time period, that it's like an inhale and the exhale. Yeah. So, but like I said, it's hard for us to wrap our heads around. So, okay, so let's break it down, and that will help us. So they start out, blessings, we are within. We are speaking to you now about the turmoil of your own understanding. How near and far from where you are, there are disturbances to the cosmic contemplative basis point. So, so just to define what that is, so to contemplate something is to like think deeply about something. So the deep thoughts that started humanity as a species, what is our basis point? The cosmic contemplative basis point. What are we deeply thinking about as a species? A basis point, I had to look that one up because it has multiple definitions, of course, because the angels, they love their deep meanings, that are deep words that say many things in one. Since that is how they view the world. They see all perspectives at once. So a basis is, if you take the word basis, it means the underlying support or foundation. And so that would be the underlying support or foundation, which they say later is love and forgiveness. So that is the basis of the human consciousness. And a basis is also a fixed pattern or system. So a system, something that happens on a regular basis, a fixed pattern, like you can say, like on a weekly basis. We're going to get together here and enjoy a message on a weekly basis. That weekly basis would be a fixed pattern or a system. So think about the weekly base, or the basis would, for our cosmic origin point, is the inhale and the exhale, right? A regular patterning. It's also the regular patterning. Our entire existence is based on pattern. And the more I'm exploring this, you guys know I'm working on another book right now, and it is all about understanding the patterns of our existence, looking at my own life and seeing the patterns of my life and the pattern of my experience. So the basis point is going to contain all the patterns that we are all playing out and all living. So there's so much to this little tiny phrase, right? The basis. What is the basis of us as a species? What are we exploring? The underlying elements that we're exploring. So you add to this, basis point also has a meaning as a financial term. And it means a basis point is a form of measurement. It makes it possible to measure even the smallest variation or change in things. So it is a measurement of change. So a basis point, it indicates that it is a static thing right now, but it is also a measurement of change. So how do we understand our progress as humanity is by looking at our basis point and understanding is it shifting, and it measures incremental degrees. A basis point, it measures in financial measurement, it's used to indicate a change of 1/100th of 1%. So in other words, a basis point or a change from 3 to 3.3% would be considered 30 basis points. And so anyways, it's about it's telling us, yeah, this is about a basis, is what is our foundation as humanity. And that basis is meant to change. And the whole thing we're trying to look at is to measure and understand that change. So in one word, they said a huge mouthful, the cosmic contemplative basis point. And we do that by contemplating, right? By thinking about ourselves. So like I said, a lot in a mouthful. All right, to the origin of all, okay, so it is, there are disturbances to this basis point, to the origin of all understanding. And so this is really about our collective consciousness, right? It ripples move of universal love and cosmic forgiveness. And they shift and change with the tides of your own frequency as you are rising into a new expression of who you are. So, and so this is the ripples move of universal love and cosmic forgiveness. Cosmic here is relating to the universe. It's something really big, and it is inconceivably vast. So that's what they say. So these are the two things they're naming here, at least, as two of the main things that we're exploring as humanity: universal love and cosmic forgiveness. And they shift and change as we change. So as we integrate and grow, then those waves can shift and our cosmic basis point can move higher. Amazing. Right. All right. So then they go on to say, you are the counterpoint of forgiveness. So we are the sort of the opposite. We're the counterpoint, the balancing, right? We are outside of that. You are that which starts from love and loses itself and must wind its way back again. And in the great depth of your own despair, forgiveness must come to rescue you. How beautiful is that, you guys? So that is the idea, that we get separated in the exhale. We get separated from, as we expand, we get separated from love and from forgiveness. Forgiveness comes. That is the wave that comes to draw us back again. It is from without and within, a duality for your own understanding. So this is two ways of duality. One is that we are in duality with our cosmic origin point, but also even in our experience of forgiveness, it is in duality because we have to we experience our own self-forgiveness and forgiveness outside of ourselves. So others forgive us, we forgive others, and we forgive ourselves. So it is a second element of duality. So they say, so from within the great depth of your own despair, forgiveness must come to rescue you. It is from without and within, a duality for your own understanding. Forgiveness comes in the light of the forsaken who return to you in the moment of your greatest need. So the forsaken are the ones who have been abandoned or deserted. So this really is about both the internal and the external struggle. It is the aspects of ourself that we have abandoned or forsaken or deserted, the pieces of ourself that we would rather not own up to or rather not have as part of us. And that can be, think about, is there any experience in your life that you wish you didn't have, that you wish never happened, that you're like, if I could go back and erase that part, I would. I wish I hadn't said that or done that, or I wish that hadn't been done to me, right? Those are the things that we reject and that are forsaken and deserted. And we have to forgive those things within us. We have to forgive the fact that they're part of who we are. We have to forgive ourselves for having that within us, right? Then we also have to forgive what happened outside of us. We have to forgive whoever we blame or like whoever we hurt. And so it's this duality of the forsaken, the things that we push away, we have to bring back to us. That's what forgiveness means. Whatever we push away, we draw back to us. So, and so they return to us in the moment of our greatest need. So in the depth of our despair, that is when forgiveness works its greatest miracle. Okay, and then forgiveness comes in the air of the wings which that we beat as we breathe into you, hopeful prospect. So the angels bring us forgiveness. Forgiveness discovers you when you are laid bare among the wreckage of what must be plowed under. Beautifully said. So forgiveness discovers you as you are laying among. So imagine this, it's like the wreckage, the things that must be regenerated. When things are plowed under, they are brought back into the earth so that to be decomposed and turned into new things. So this is that idea that everything that's part of us becomes knowledge, we become better because of the experiences that we've had, right? And forgiveness gets us there. When we forgive, then we can compost all the stuff that we have been through and turn it into fuel for what brings us to higher states of consciousness. So beautiful, beautiful paragraph. All right, next paragraph. They say, The wreckage of perspectives will come and go and suffice as they may. For your own greatest recovery will be made through the fruition of that soil which is laid to rest. This is referencing that idea in the previous paragraph that stuff that we don't want will be plowed under when we forgive it. It will be plowed under and turned into new energy. The wreckage of perspectives. So this is like when we hold a perspective, we're seeing things from one angle. And what we're trying to do is get to the spiritual perspective of seeing it from all angles, right? Spiritual wisdom is being able to integrate other perspectives besides our own. So the wreckage of perspectives, which is like where we're dug in and only seeing it our way, that will come and go and suffice. It will give us what we need so that our own greatest recovery that can be made through the fruition of the soil that will be laid to rest. So for the growth of that soil, there shall be disappointments and furrows shall be opening in the consecrated desires you would rather not upset. So they're saying there's things that we really wish we could have that we won't have, right? There'll be things that we have to let go of. There'll be disappointments that we have to let go of, things that we would rather not let go of. And they say, but we say that these conjunctions and disunions that you are experiencing within your own lives ripple upward and outward with each explosive renewal. So there's and I like that they don't dance too lightly around the idea of how hard it is for us to be human. These are explosive renewals, right? When we go through our tough stuff, it is explosive to ourselves. How many of you have had your lives? I've had my life explode a couple times, and then I had to figure out a new life, and that's happened to me a few times. And it is an explosive renewal where you just like I said, the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. And so these problems that we consider, these obstacles, these hardships in our life, right? We work through them, and that as we move up and outward, that ripples out from us into the collective. Our growth impacts everyone. It impacts our collective consciousness. And they say, and you are carrying within you the very frequency of what will realign to the cosmic point of consciousness that illuminates us all. And so this is interesting because we are carrying within us the very frequency that will create the change that we need. So there's two pieces to this. One is that we are evolving, and that evolution, this idea of seeing ourselves, of growth, of being willing to encounter ourselves, this willingness to self-explore is a frequency that is going to move us all forward. But also, the angels have told us that we are carrying two aspects of our soul inside of us. One, the frequency that we are living now, and one that will evolve and grow out of us when we shift to the higher frequency. And this is not going to be like Alien, where there's like a beast inside of us that comes out with like weird chompy teeth. It'll be beautiful. It'll be like a lovely thing. And it will be us exactly as we are now, but from that higher perspective of, rather than seeing one perspective, seeing all perspectives. So this is the growth that we're moving into, and it will literally blossom from inside of us as if we've always had a talent or ability. Imagine it would be as if you suddenly were able to pick up a guitar and play it perfectly. Like it's going to be you, but all of a sudden you have this new talent that you didn't even know you could do, except the talent is going to be a high spiritual perspective and awareness that will give you wisdom that you couldn't even imagine before. And so what I love is they say that this shift that we're going to go through they say it will illuminate us all. And so to illuminate is to shed light, right? But it is also to clarify and explain. In other words, our growth and what we're going through is teaching the entire universe about growth. It's teaching all of the universe is learning through our experience. So that's what they're saying here, which is very, very cool. All right, so next paragraph. They go on to say, you are the wave of light we care to perceive. You are the illuminative force that endows this earth with the gently held spark of the divine. So the angels always tell us that they are fascinated and attracted to us, and they are happy to be of service to us. What they are drawn to is the spark of the divine that we carry, that we are aspects of the divine, and they love us. They love that piece of us, which is really the core of who we are. And so that's where they say, you are the wave of light we care to perceive. Like they're here by choice. They want to be here with us. And they go on to say, there shall come a time wherein the frequency of peaceful acceptance becomes more vivid, And this then shall penetrate into the depths of the human mind. It shall be an opening that conveys to you what is your highest potential. So this is big. They say, there shall come a time wherein the frequency of peaceful acceptance. So they said later in the message, they say the wave of light that comes envelops the world in surrender, right? And that surrender, accepting what is what helps us to evolve into our higher perspective. So what has to happen in order for us to surrender, in order for to accept what is? We have to stop pushing it away from us, which means we have to forgive it, right? So you see how it's all connected. It's so beautiful. So they're saying that is the flash of light. The flash of light is a frequency of peaceful acceptance, of surrender, of allowing. They called it so many things, but it is the end of us pushing away and the beginning of integration. And that involves forgiveness. We have to forgive, which means draw back to us the pieces of ourselves, each other, everything, right? It's the beginning of we were in that big exhale, and now it's a big inhale, and now we're relaxing into this integration. Yeah. So it's a wave of a frequency of peaceful acceptance, and it shall be an opening that conveys to you what is your highest potential. So this is how we shift, right? This is it. They go on to say, you shall not roam far from the vision of yourselves at the beginning, from the start of the cosmic wave of love. You shall not deter your own great lengths of development through any misfortunes or misdeeds. In other words, they say we never really lose ourselves completely. We never get so far off track that we forget completely how to get back, that we always keep a thread, right? We always have the ability to return. We never lose ourselves entirely. They say, but the rest of the universe feels your comeuppance. They are perceptive to what you emit. The great changelings, the influential starlights that come to themselves, and in so doing, reverberate a new truth for ourselves and all others to accept. So this, I love, they call us changelings, right? And they say that because they've told us before that we are the frequency of change, that literally, it's hilarious because we typically, humans don't like change, and we actually are change. So it's literally like we're squirting purple everywhere we go, and we're like, I hate the color purple, but we just keep squirting purple everywhere, making everything purple, right? We are change. We walk into a room and we change the room. Look at everywhere humans live, that place changes to reflect us. And we are that change. We are the frequency of change. We create our reality all around us. And yet we don't like it. We don't like being changed. I love that they call us changelings. Changelings, influential starlights, they call us, that come to themselves, and so in so doing reverberate a new truth for ourselves and all others to accept. So everyone, the rest of the universe has their own process of acceptance, of surrender that they have to do, and we are the ones that are setting that up for them. We're creating a new possibility by learning about ourselves, which then will expand the minds of all other creatures in the universe. Amazing. There is a revolution at hand that is coming from within you, a new gestational divergence from what is and has been. And this shall ripple upward and outward onto the cosmic plane of understanding. And the cosmic origin point braces itself for its own disunion, for a separation from what it once was. So they're really saying this is a major change. It's coming from within us, and our cosmic origin point, which is the humanity's collective consciousness, is preparing to shift away from what it used to be into its new and heightened state, which of course shifts us all. Yeah, amazing. Next paragraph. So now they kind of shift a little bit and they start talking about what is the cosmic origin point. They say it was an embodiment of its own, a counterpoint, a reflective surface from which all gathered its dusty legends. It was the momentary glimpse of a universe that expanded into the furthermost reaches of what is now. So the cosmic origin point, our collective consciousness, is an embodiment, just like each of us are an embodiment. So it's like a person, except it's a person that is made up of all of us. All of us are part of it. But think of it as an embodied being that we are all part of. a counterpoint, right? So in other words, it lives in duality. It's a counterpoint to and who knows what, actually, because there's probably layers to this. It's probably a counterpoint to something else in the universe that the angels have not yet told us about. But we are a counterpoint to it because we separate from it and we move away from forgiveness and love, right? So we become a counterpoint to our cosmic origin point. They say it is a reflective surface from which all gathered its dusty legends. So its dusty legends are like, okay, that's such an interesting phrase. And they never say anything by accident. A reflective surface, to reflect upon something, is to learn through thinking, right? Through going backwards and thinking about something. So reflective surface, but it is also something that is like mirrors, right? It mirrors itself. It mirrors us. So it reflects us and it reflects, it thinks. So it's both. And all gathered its dusty legends. So we are reflecting upon our dusty legends, all of our past lives, all of our junk, all of our history. This is how we learn. We go through things and we go back and we reflect by portraying those same emotions or things that we have not yet come to peace with. We reflect those into our current life, right? So it's amazing the phrasing that they're used here to express these incredibly deep spiritual concepts, you guys. It was a momentary glimpse. So our cosmic origin point was a momentary glimpse of a universe that expanded into the furthermost reaches of what is now. So this is literally like taking a photo and then saying, okay, we're going to take this momentary idea and we're going to create that as an embodiment, and we're going to let that embodiment explore itself forever, right? And that's our cosmic origin point. Like, it must have been one moment when God exhaled and God was thinking about love and forgiveness, and boom, we became humanity, right? Like, and that's us. And then we're going to explore that infinitely. So then next paragraph, and within it, within the cosmic origin point, there are many trajectories not taken, many possibilities not yet explored. It is a wavelength of frequency which is emitted again and again with each universal breath. In other words, what they're saying here is that this game can be played for a really, really, really long time. That there's tons of stuff we have not yet explored as humanity, right? And it keeps doing it, emitted again and again. It exhales, inhales, exhales, inhales. So we have the potential to go through this process of evolution, again and again and again as we explore ourselves and grow, right? So that's what they're saying. So this is fascinating. It is the stasis, the status of well-being. So stasis is equilibrium or balance, right? And so, which is fascinating because we are the counterpoint to our cosmic origin point, and we are what? Out of balance. And that is what we are all, many of you are with me working in soul convergence to balance, right? To come back into, we always talk about, we're trying to balance our masculine and feminine energies and come back into harmony with our cosmic origin point. So stasis is about equilibrium or balance. And so we being the counterpoint, we move out of balance, away from love and forgiveness. It is also, stasis is also about the stop of flow. Like, it's a medical term, I think, about like blood flow. When you have the stasis or something comes into stasis, it stops flowing. So think about that it is a frozen moment, a snapshot of time, where time, even though time doesn't exist on the other side, but a snapshot of one perspective of the divine. So that is stasis. It is saying this is what humanity will be. It is an embodiment. An embodiment is a stasis, a stoppage of flow to say this is a thing. And then they say it is the status of well-being. Stasis is also a period of stability in which no evolutionary change occurs. So fascinating, right? That it is, okay, it's like saying stasis. So in other words, our cosmic origin point goes through periods of stasis where it experiences, as it exhales into this, as we move into our lives and go through our experience of living, as we are all out on the earth doing our thing, we are working within one band of frequency, which is stasis from the point of our cosmic origin point. But then eventually we get to a place where we are now, which means we will then shift and move to a new stasis, to a higher point, right, of awareness. So much in this, yeah. So then in harmony, which is what our cosmic origin point is well-being. When our body comes into harmony with itself, we don't have illness. So stasis is also the status of well-being. How harmonized are we? That is how well we are. It is the illuminative force of growth and development, and it shall inhale with your acceptance of your own preview of what is to come to you, what is to come as you move into readiness to accept your furthest growth point. So when we are ready, so that is when the flash of light comes. It comes when we are ready. They're saying it right here. When we are ready, as your readiness to accept your furthest growth point, as we get there, then our cosmic origin point, it's been exhaling this whole time as we've been out here living at this frequency, exploring our separation from love and forgiveness. It will inhale, and all of a sudden we will move back into and through surrender. We will be blanketed, the globe will be blanketed by the energy of surrender, letting go, releasing, right? Accepting what is, which means forgiveness. The wave of forgiveness will come out and it will blanket us in surrender. And then we will be brought back into the cosmic origin point, right? All right, so then they say, it shall inhale, right? Then next paragraph, they say, and as you do, as we accept it, as you do, this elemental force recovers itself, draws back in, and expands into something new. So this is that the inhale of the cosmic origin point, which I believe is this flash of light, and this idea could be the 3 days of darkness, right? It could be that this is what it is, the inhale. And it is our cosmic origin point recovers itself, draws back in, and expands again with a new exhale into something new, a new reference point, a new stasis, right? A higher frequency, a cosmic flare-up that shall envelop the earth and draw to yourselves the greatest light of surrender that can be beheld. Wow, 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 wow. That is the flash of light, you guys. The greatest light of surrender that can be beheld. And within it, you shall uncover what is within you, and it shall grow and magnify the newest prospects of your own hallelujah. How amazing is that? It shall grow and magnify the newest, and so it shall uncover what is within you, which is, they've already told us that the higher state of being is already, we were born with it, it's already in us. But this light of surrender will draw that from us and allow that to come up. All we have to do is stop resisting, right? We don't have to immediately become incredibly wise beings, one with the universe, perfect. We don't have to. All we got to do is accept. All we got to do is be like, yeah, I'm imperfect, and that's all right. That's all we have to do. Right? And then when we do that, we are accepting the light of surrender. And and then we get inhaled, and the whole thing happens. That magic happens, which is so incredibly cool. All right. Then it shall grow. The new thing inside of us grows out. It comes out. It blossoms from inside of us, this higher spiritual perspective, and it shall grow and magnify the newest prospects of your own hallelujah. All right, next paragraph. We say that the cosmic origin point of humanity is a mind share of the universal law that belongs to source above. So think of that. It's like source above is probably full of concepts that are amazing, but the ones that we are exploring, the share of that pie that we got, is love and forgiveness. Right? And so it is a mind share of the universal law that belongs to us. So we think of the universal law being love, but maybe that's just ours. I don't know. It might only just be humanity's. We have no way of knowing if it just applies to us, or if all beings are working with the same slice of pie. I don't know. But that certainly is ours. We just we have nothing to compare it to. And then they say, it is the godlike principle of your becoming, and it radiates a new future, even as you are speaking to your own selves, even as you are in reluctance for what might become. So they're saying it's right there. It's happening, even though we might be a little nervous about it. Next paragraph. And here they shift again to a kind of, right before they've been talking about what is the cosmic origin point. Now they shift here, and they're talking about the fact that we can't really predict or understand this in advance, because it's like a thing like talking about dancing. We can't really understand it until we do it. We can talk about it, but we can't fully embody it until we do it. They say there can be no foreshadowing of these events which are foretold but not fully understood before now. There can be no afterthought that does not contain the mysterious undoing of what has been your own reality. So in other words, when we get to, they're saying that that we're not going to fully understand it, even in retrospect, that we're going to see what happened and we're going to understand it from our earthly perspective. But looking back on it after this whole process is done, it will be a mysterious undoing is how we will see it. All right, and then the next paragraph, they say the fullness of the solar array, which come, and they here again they called it solar. I mean, is our cosmic origin point a sun? Is it our sun? I don't know. Like, that would be amazing. So I will tell you that that you guys know that I am now channeling the Mother of Creation, she is created by God. She's not a replacement of God. When I say that, I don't mean that I'm just calling God a woman. A God to me is a universal beingness, but God created the Mother of Creation, and so please use your word for God. That's just mine, but the Mother of Creation, as I channeled her when she first came in, I had these really deep experiences with her. I had dreams about her at first, showing I was afraid to channel her because I was being chicken, and that's okay. I love myself. but I eventually got up the courage to do it, and she came in and she talked to me for like 6 hours straight, and it just was mind-blowing. And I had some extremely vivid physicalized experiences of her. So she communicated with me sometimes through channeling, through words, but sometimes by letting me feel what it is to be her and giving me literally a felt experience of her own embodiment, which was incredible. And one of the big experiences I saw was she showed me herself before she became creative, before she had creative power. And she was sort of a being kind of floating in a universe that didn't have a whole lot in it yet. There was some stuff in it. I could see stars and things, but they were like in the distance. It wasn't like our sky when you look out and you see a billion stars. It was like there was a few things in the universe. And then kind of on a universal horizon, kind of coming out of the nothing, came a giant sun. And then I saw she eventually came and merged with that sun. But she could never merge with it fully. She could merge with it mostly, and it gave her creative energy. But it also, there was parts of that sun she could never fully merge with, and that created duality. It created polarization, so that creation could occur. That we cannot create without having, it's like a battery. You have to have a positive and a negative pole to the battery for electricity to flow. That if there's no duality, you have complete oneness and unity, which means no change. If you have polarity, you have things that create dynamism and they react against one another, and that creates movement, which is change. So I saw the Mother of Creation integrate with this sun, and I saw how she couldn't integrate with all of it. But I also saw, as she was playing with the light, she was playing with this amazing golden light and realizing she had this creative power. And she is the mother of all souls. All souls are birthed through her. And so here, when they're saying, it's really, in my own mind, I am thinking, oh my gosh, our cosmic origin point is a sun. Like, that is right now what I'm thinking. that is like, yeah, I'm thinking what it is. And so maybe the Mother of Creation merged with our cosmic origin point and created us. That makes sense to me right now as I'm saying it. That I think that's what it was. Like, I'm just now beginning to understand it. Like, holy cow, you guys. Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. I always get so much more perceptive, like understanding when we talk about it together, and the energy that you guys are holding, it's I find it to be so helpful, you guys. So all right, so the fullness of the solar array, which will come to meet yourselves in the moment of readiness, shall, and this means this flash of light, when the flash of light comes, shall exemplify the divine light that created us all. Right? It shall be a new beginning, as if the frequency of humanity has altered from within, and the cosmic source of your intelligence moves into alignment with a higher truth. So the frequency of humanity has altered from within. So that is that idea that we have the higher state inside of us, and it will grow from inside of us and blossom. And the cosmic source of our intelligence moves into alignment with a higher truth. Beautiful. So, and all who you are shall come, and all who you are shall come to enjoy the fated reunion with your own highest expression. So all of humanity, all of the lives you've ever lived, everything of us comes into union with itself, right? And we all move into the higher state of expression. We're moving into a state of unity, consciousness. All right, next paragraph. There shall be within this interplay of light and dark a newness that is confounding to you. And they've told us this before, that when we move into the higher state of being, that when we first get there, we will think we have brain fog, because it won't be like we come out and everything is clear, because of the fact that we are creating it, that it is coming from us. And so there's going to be like some parts of it that are there, like this new frequency is there, but it will be emanating from us as we all kind of create it together. So it will be a little foggy at first. We will feel a little confused or confounded at first, right? There'll be a newness that is confounding to you. There shall be a radiance that evolves from within you, and you shall not heed the same priorities which once have spoken your name. In other words, part of why it's completely new is because we will be creating it from this higher perspective. And the things we used to think we want, we no longer care about them anymore. And we will now care about things that are coming from a higher state of consciousness. So in other words, we're going to, and they've said what that will be is going to be, a lot of it is going to be caring about one another and about the earth, which is phenomenal, that we become the stewards of the earth. They say there should be a radiance that evolves from within you, and you shall not heed the same priorities which once have spoken your name. The new beginnings come from within you, but are not found in the nature of how you have been. So in other words, the whole like go-go 80s part of living, which has kind of stuck with us since the 80s, that work hard, play hard, buy more, be more, all of that, we're done. We're done with all of that. Right? The comparative society, the externalized society, all done. And we move into unity consciousness, loving one another, loving ourselves as creators, loving the earth. Incredible, you guys. Incredible to think about. They go on to say they come from the stasis point of the new beginning. So this is our desires, our new desires. They come from the stasis point of the new beginning, right? From the cosmic point of origin. They come from the universal law into which you are growing, the new universal law, the new one that we're shifting into. That is what will form our desires. The new and measured instrumentation of an expansive universal comprehension of which you are a part. So in other words, our growth is feeding universal comprehension, as they said before, that what we learn, all of the universe learns as well. Next paragraph, they say, and from within that perspective, your heightened state of consciousness bestows upon you what shall become of interest. You shall be drawn to one another in the context of union, in the context of fruitful research that leads you into loving what is. So this is our higher state of being. So amazing, you guys. Next paragraph, they say, and they kind of shift topic here again. They say, there shall be surrendered within this experience much of what has been viewed as universal truth. So we're leaving a lot behind, right? There shall be thoughts about what is and what humanity has done that shall be left behind. There can be no forethought, as we have spoken, about how you will feel, about how you will feel what this will be, for it has not yet occurred. I love how they don't say what you think it's going to be. It's what you feel it's going to be, because feelings is what matter to us in terms of learning. It's not about learning with our head. It's about learning with our heart. It's about feeling feelings. And that is how we learn about ourselves. Yeah. And so that we cannot know in advance how we're going to feel, is what they're saying here. For it has not yet occurred in our own minds, in our own hearts. We foresee yourselves taking on the patterning of a new spaciousness that evolves from within, evolves from the universal loving concepts into which you are moving. And this integrates into what is within you. So in other words, they're saying that we can't really know what we're going to do with it yet until we get there. We're going to arrive at this higher state of consciousness. We're going to receive this new patterning, because we exist in patterns, like we were talking about in the beginning, that there's the pattern, the frequency of love and forgiveness. And are we still going to be playing at love and forgiveness, or is it going to be love and something else? I don't know. Love and surrender. I don't know. It'll be something that we will be playing at learning. And Where was I? And so there will be a new patterning, and that patterning will interact with us, and we will create from it because we are the creators, the changelings, right? That will make it into something amazing, which will become our new world, our new earth. So this integrates into what is within you, and you yourselves shall define it by the very fact of your creative genius. So cool, you guys. They go on to say, we wish for you to speak the truth of these meanings, to know them as a part of you, to know them how and when they shall become within you. We wish for you to feel yourselves resolved upon these feelings, in acceptance, embracing what is becoming from within you. We wish for you to know your higher truth evolves from one point of consciousness shared by all human beings, and all vibrate from within the same attunement. So in other words, we are all in the same place. We're all exploring different areas within that, but we're all at this moment, they're saying no one has shifted yet. No one, and there may be a lot of you that feel like, wow, I'm having some really amazing new experiences, and that is super cool because it means you're opening to the energies, but they're saying none of us are there yet because our universal, our cosmic point has not shifted yet. To know that what rises for you rises for all of humanity, and that you live within the spark of divine love, and these notes are carried into your future. You cannot recombine into the nature of what was and live in the foray of what is beginning. So we have to let go of what was in order to experience what the new. You can only find the truthful path of your expression in the new morning through the accepting of what is now only begun. So that is the last paragraph, is really about they want us to surrender, to accept, to open, and it's really accepting ourself. They're not asking us to accept something outside of ourselves or to surrender to anything outside of us. They're asking us to surrender to ourselves, to surrender to self-love, to loving ourselves, to surrender to all the things we've repressed inside of us, to love what is, which means to love ourself. That is all they're asking. When I say that, they're not asking us to become subjugated to anything. It is accept loving ourselves, and letting that rule us, letting that self-love rule us. All right, you guys, thank you so much for sharing the messages with me. I appreciate you very, very much. And I love this one. I in our conversation here, I personally came to a new level of awareness and insight about our world and ourselves and our cosmos and God. And so thank you for that. Thank you so much. All right, I'm sending you guys tons of love. Have a wonderful weekend, and just quick before I forget, we have coming up. What do we have coming up? We have I'm going to be live in Phoenix coming up very soon. So I think it's going to be, and I can't remember the date. So I will have to have it posted for you. I'll put a little note for you guys when the date is. But if you'd like to come and be with me live in Phoenix, it's going to be we're going to spend about 3 hours together. We're going to bring in the angels. We're going to chat. It's going to be awesome. So I'd love it if you can join me if you're in the area, just so you know I'm going to be there. All right. Have a great day, you guys. I'll see you soon.